Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please stick around to watch my homeschool journey. My name is Jamie. I'm a homeschool mama of 3 boys. They are 7, 6, and 13 months old. I am a former public education teacher. I taught in grades kindergarten, 2nd, and 3rd grade before I decided to stay home and just spend more time with my kids and homeschool them. In this video, I want to share with you my science curriculum. I did do a video about a week ago that covered my curriculum overview for the upcoming school year, and I'll leave that link down below, and I can put a card up here if you're interested in my entire curriculum. In this video, I'm going to just focus on my science curriculum. This year, I'm going to be using the Sassfras Science Adventures Volume 2, which is Anatomy. Last year, I used Volume 1, which was Zoology, and I did a YouTube video on that as well, and I can link that YouTube video down below, and I can put a card up here if you're interested in Volume 1, Zoology. Kids really love this curriculum. They really enjoyed this curriculum. I purchased it last year. I'm going to continue to purchase it. I think they're up to 6 or 8 of these units or volumes, and I'm planning on going through the whole entire curriculum because my boys love it so much. For these 3 books, it cost me $44. They do have an ebook option, but I like to get the physical books and I like to get them sent to me. So for $44, I got the teacher guide, the student logbook, and then what I call the read aloud book. It's just the story. It's on a 5th grade reading level, so for my kids in 1st grade and 2nd grade, it has to be a read aloud book. I'm going to flip around my camera now, and I'm going to give you an overview of all 3 of these books, along with some other resources that I have purchased that I'm planning on using with this curriculum the next year. So now I'm going to give you a flip through of this curriculum. So let's start with the teacher volume, or teacher guide. So it has a table of contents, an introduction, what each chapter contains, and then it gives you your books that, like, this is the living book spine, this is the main book, and then it asks you, it says you might want to get a encyclopedia, and it has multiple choices. It has a place for additional living books. So here's your book list, which is what I was going over, and you can see some dots there. That's because I purchased these books, and if you see an L beside of it, that means that the library owns it. Our local library does. So I went ahead and got the encyclopedia, and then I got some of the other books. I haven't finished going through the book list because there's a lot of books here, but I'm slowly going through each. I'm up to chapter 4. Okay. In this curriculum, she does recommend a microscope and a dissection supplies. I already own a microscope, but I am planning on buying this dissection kit. I forget how much it was. I think it was maybe $40, but don't hold me to that price because I don't remember, but she does have all the links in here for those kits. Here is the supplies you will need by chapter, and then the project and activity supplies listed by chapter. Here is all of your characters, and then here it starts the chapter 1, and it gives you a chapter summary, and this would be beneficial if your child is reading this book by themselves, but I'm reading this to my kids, so I don't really even pay attention to the chapter summary. It tells you if you need any supplies, and then it gives you an optional schedules. They give you a schedule for 2 days a week, and then they give you a schedule if you do this 5 days a week. I do mine a little differently, and I'll go ahead and cover that now. So this is supposed to last you half a year. You're supposed to do 2 volumes a year. However, I don't do that. I do 1 volume a year. So there's 18 chapters in here. So I do a chapter every 2 weeks. I did create a curriculum guide for this where I broke it down, and I did a video on my curriculum guides. If you're interested in seeing that, I'll put it in the description box below, along with a little card up at the top of this YouTube video. Okay, but I do all of these activities, but I make this chapter last 2 weeks. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So they have your living book, your spine. It tells you what to read there. It tells you what to read from the encyclopedia, and it gives you any optional books, which were from that book list that I was just talking about. And then it has a body systems information sheet. It tells you how to fill that out. Around the world sheet, and then anatomy record sheets, an anatomy note sheet, a project record sheet, an anatomy glossary, and then it tells you the activities to do. Okay, I'm going to go over one more chapter because chapter 1's more like an introduction. So chapter 2, again, you have all of these things. But then this one, it breaks it down so into body systems. So you're doing the skeleton system, and then you're doing the skull. So I would do one whole week on the skull. And then I would do another week on the backbone. So I break apart every chapter into 2 weeks. And I would just focus on the skull for the first week, the backbone for the second week. And with that, I would break this into 2. So if you go to chapter 2 of anatomy, the surprising skull. So I read this the first week. And then legends and backbones would be the second week. So each chapter is broken into 2 sections. So it's really easy to read just one section a week. And then I also look at the vocabulary, and I would decide which week to do those. I would look at the readings and decide which week. And then on the back, it has a scientific demonstration. So this one is your support system. So this is when I would do this with the backbone. They also give you some other things you could do, like a protective skull. So I would do that the skull week. And I don't do the copy work or memorization. I've never done that. I didn't do it last year. I don't plan on doing it this year. So that's all the way through till chapter 18. And then in the appendix, it has lab report sheets, microscope worksheets, and you would just print these out for your kids. For the joint project, it tells you how to do that activity, a dissection report. It just has little sheets that you would use. And then it has a glossary to go over the words. And then it has some other templates. And see, this is where they would like glue the skull in. And then quizzes for each chapter. So my kids they do the quizzes, and we just take one quiz. I think they're every 4 weeks they get a quiz because it's 2 chapters. And this sheet, I'm going to actually make this bigger, and I'm going to put it on my board, and we're going to like take and put these pieces here, and then they'll each have one in their notebook as well. So here is the student logbook. And if you didn't want to do the logbook, they do have a like a lap book that you could do with younger kids, but I choose to do the logbook. And what I did last year and what I plan on doing this year is I print out the notes. So in here it had notes for each section. These are your notes. I print these out and make them, I type these up, and I do it as a fill in the blank. And my kids just have to fill in the blank, but they're still getting all those notes. I just type them for them. So this is what it looks like. So here's what the kids are covering: the skeletal system, the respiratory system, nervous, circulatory, muscular, digestive, urinary, reproduction and DNA, immune, cells. So here's like a sheet you can just do. So this is what they would see every week. So they would get this sheet, the purpose, they would color in the parts of the system, and they would get facts about the system. So they would have to write this in, they would have to color it, but here sometimes I would make them write the facts, sometimes it would be a fill in the blanks. On the back, you are traveling around the world with the twins. They go on these imaginary zip lines all through the world, so you would have to figure out where they're at for chapter 1 or chapter 2. They're in Ethiopia. So you would fill that in here, and then you would do facts about Ethiopia. So it teaches geography at the same time. Okay, and then here's the skull page. So the skull is part of the blank, and then information learned again. And it just pretty much goes through for all of this. And then at the end they have the skeletal system. I used this note page a lot in the last one for like if we did any of the projects or the science experiments, the kids could talk about it or write about it. And then they also have this sheet where you can glue in a picture and then the information they learned if you want to do this for projects as well. And then it just does that for all of them. And then the back it has a glossary, and I actually put this in the front of my book for zoology, and in my YouTube video I show you how I made kids workbooks for these. But it goes through, and I just have them write the definition for each one of these when we cover it. So what I do for this is I print this for both of my kids, and then I put it in a binder with tabs, and every system is a tab. So the first tab would be the skeletal system, and everything for those papers would be in that tab. And then it would move on to the next tab, which is the respiratory system, and all of those papers would be in there. That's just how I organized it. And then here you can see the book. I do wish it had color pictures or like more pictures because I do have small kids, but they do really enjoy the story. It keeps them very interested, and they just really can relate to these characters, and they feel like it's just really cool to travel the world and be on these imaginary zip lines. And we have a zip line in the backyard, so they just love this book. I did purchase this little kit with zoology, so you can purchase this, and it comes with some of the things you will need for the projects and for the science projects and science activities. It is for, I purchased it last year because each one of these is for volume 1 and 2. And it tells you like week 2, volume 2, week 5, volume 2, week 14. So I kept this, and I bought this last year. I think if you buy your set with this, it's like $80. But if you just buy this by itself, it was $40. But I won't need to buy this again until we go to volume 3. I'm also going to show you some other things that I purchased for this curriculum. I got this at Target. It is felt learning assortments. I think it was like $3 in the dollar section of Target. Yep. And it has like little things that tell you about each section. The nervous system, the respiratory, the digestive, and the skeletal. And then it has the little pieces that they can put on there, the little body parts. And then I got this at Dollar Tree, and I've had this a long time, so I'm not even sure if Dollar Tree still carries this. But it's like a foam puzzle, and it just pops out, and it does the skeletal system. Then I have this puzzle by Melissa and Doug, the Human Anatomy Floor Puzzle. On one side, it has like all of your organs, and talks about your veins and stuff. And then on the other side, it does your bones. So it's like a double-sided double-sided puzzle. I figured they could have fun just doing this. I'm not sure where I bought this. I got it used, probably a yard sale or something like that. And then a lot of my books I buy from thrift books, or I get from yard sales, or I get them from like homeschool sales or consignment sales. This one I know I bought from thrift books. I love thrift books, and they give you rewards for spending so much money. This is the encyclopedia that she recommends, and she gives you the pages to do for this. So I went ahead and purchased the one for the younger kids, and she'll tell you what pages to read. And then I also got just some other books that will be covered. I got the Magic School Bus Exploring the Senses, the Magic School Bus Inside the Human Body, and I've had these for years. I've had these since I taught public education. Again, I didn't buy them full price. I probably got them at a yard sale or something. I got the Magic School Bus chapter book, The Giant Germ, the Magic School Bus chapter book, The Search of the Missing Bones, Magic School Bus Fights Germs, My 5 Senses, Your Fantastic Elastic Brain, Stretch It, Shape It. I do know I bought this one straight from Scholastic. The Amazing Human Body, Skeleton, And I don't know how much of this we'll read, or if I'll just stick it out for them so they can just look at it, because it does skeletons that are just more than just the human body. And a lot of these books I'll put in our morning basket, so that we can just pull them and read them in our morning basket. And I say morning basket, but we sometimes do our morning basket in the afternoon. I have Germs Make Me Sick, All About the Five Senses, Our Body. This one I just bought off Thrift Books. It's the Usborne Little Encyclopedia of the Human Body. I love Usborne books. And it has internet links. So you can go and you can do the internet link. And it can go to the section, and then they'll have videos and things that can go with it. Bones, I bought this right off the Thrift Books just the other day. And I have a lot more coming from Thrift Books. Inside Your Outside, All About the Human Body. Usborne First Encyclopedia of the Human Body. So this is all I have so far for this curriculum. I will be purchasing more of like just books to read with them, but I have pretty much everything I need, and I will be purchasing the things that we're going to do dissect. But for the most part, this is it for my curriculum, unless I come across something else that's really cool, like a puzzle or a game or something. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you'll hit the notification bell, you'll be able to see when I upload a new video. Thank you so much.